in here. Well, he sang once, but we cut it. You remember that? The last day, that was my resurrection and that.
Oh my God,
nice.
the milkshake song? No. It was just a bad choice, totally.
Just that what counts. So if you use Hitchcockian terms, Iraq would be the MacGuffin. I mean, this is the background, and we take it seriously in the sense that we want very truthful moments and very truthful reactions of every character about the conflict he's living. But it doesn't show my opinion about the conflict or whatever. I'm not even sure to have one. What I'm trying to show is his position, and Javir's position, and Brenner's position, and we try to be truthful about that. But it's more, but one thing that these small premise stories have is that they are very powerful in an allegoric and metaphoric level. It resounds inside of you, but not in an obvious way. It's not on the nose. It's like when you see Duel, for instance, or even when you see Dawn of the Dead, the original Romero version. Yeah, they are zombies attacking a mole, but it's a comment of its society somehow, and it resounds inside you. So you can see this solitude of an alone man that can fight whatever, even lack of oxygen, but not bureaucracy, for instance. That's the world we are living in. You even try to change your cell phone company, and you spend 40 minutes just pressing one, and pressing two, and one again, until, if you are lucky, speak with a human being.
That's the real question. Who killed Paul Conroy? Was it
I did.
Iraqis?
Yeah, you think, oh, it's Jabir, it's the terrorists that are killing this guy, is it the lack of oxygen, is it the common? Just his bureaucracy is going to kill this guy, and there's nothing you can do about it.
All right, let's go to the back here. Yes, you right there. Yes.
Ryan, this is for you. Do you prefer working on comedies like The Proposal, or do you prefer horror movies, and why?
Isn't this funny enough?
I don't have a preference. I love doing what I do. I mean, I always feel like I'm very fortunate that they just keep letting me do it. So my career, if I'm going to speak about that and not sound like an idiot, is that it was by inches, and it was an aggregate. It was very slow, and because of that, I didn't have this meteoric success in one genre, despite 12, maybe 15 High School Musical auditions. I did not make the cut. And, but it was actually a blessing, even though I was going after that, and I was able to kind of do all of it, and I'm really lucky. It's just dumb luck that I get to do it. But I don't have a preference. I wish I did, but I love them all. I love movies.
Yeah, I always dreamt on burying Sandra Bullock, by the way.
Oh, watch it.
Yeah.
I love the score, actually. I thought it was cool. I was kind of surprised by how obvious the score was. But, you know, every other kind of movie like this I'm thinking of where it's very claustrophobic in one person, there's usually very minimal score. So was there ever a consideration of not having a score and just, you know, making it very minimal?
No, never. I needed music, and I needed music, but actually we did a kind of experiment here because we started to work on the music on the second week of editing, which never happens, because we needed to find a buried sound, which is very difficult to find, because at the beginning, for instance, with the beginning of the credit sequence, we have this great music that tells us that we are going to see something big, not something experimental or obscure or good for museums, but a high-tension thriller. And the music explodes with all the orchestra. So we are ready to listen to the silence. You remember the beginning of the film with 3 minutes of pitch black? You can hear anything, and you don't know if something's happening. You think that you heard something. You don't know if it's your partner or if it happened on the screen. Okay, you have to be ready to listen to that. And that's because of this music at the beginning. But from this moment on, you are in trouble, because we don't have music for 10 to 15 minutes, and the first note is going to be an intrusion. So you have to be very careful. So the first notes are so low, the lower notes of every instrument of the orchestra, in a very primal way, very subterranean. Everything is very primal in this film, from the rough wood to the sound, to the sweat, to the blood, to the whatever, heat. And little by little it evolves. And at the beginning it's just percussion in a very abstract way, and little by little evolves, showing who Javier is with these Middle Eastern notes. And at the end you have epic sound. At the end you have this full orchestra sounding in a very epic way, and you don't know how it happened. So it was step by step. So we have to have a very high control of nuance to make this possible. Victor Reyes, who's the composer, did an amazing job. Yeah, I'm very proud of what he did.
No, it was the most unexpected thing in the movie, but it was great.
You know, just before I forget, I just read an article today, an interview with Guillermo del Toro. He's in Toronto because he's got a couple films there that he produced, and he was talking about the state of sort of independent horror, and he specifically said that now is the time for filmmakers who are doing that to be bold and to do things that seem impossible. He specifically mentioned Barry as a prime example of that, and I think that's exactly what you've done here, is do something that's impossible and bold as hell, and you pulled it off. Okay, we got a couple more questions that we've got time for. We want to get you in the back there. Yep.
So you said that you underestimated how tough this shoot was with Barry. What ended up being more taxing on you as an actor? Something like Barry or something like Green Lantern?
They're obviously really different, but you know, I'll tell you, the thing I wasn't really ready for when I walked into Buried was that I had to light myself in every scene. I know that sounds like a silly little thing, but it was kind of the bane of my existence. I had so many things to think about, and
Take it.
Yeah, go for it. It's actually me calling you. Tell them you're perfectly happy with your current long-distance marriage. Anyway, Green Lantern was a marathon, you know. This felt more like a sprint, like a really, 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 really difficult sprint. So I just finished. I mean, it was 7 months of shooting, but I'll tell you, my absolute worst day, most difficult day I ever had on Green Lantern is absolutely nothing compared to my finest moment on Buried in terms of workload and all that stuff. I mean, I'll never complain as long as I live on a film set again after working on this.
All right, let's see, you in the front back there. Yeah.
What the tattoo that was on the wrist?
Mm-hmm.
What did it say?
It said, "You shithead, you're 21, what are you getting tattoos for?" And you know what? It was usually covered by the damn watch, and when I've seen the movie a couple of times, I watch people sort of lean forward. What does that say? And I usually cover, I don't know why, when I was young I got a tattoo, I'm not telling you what it's You'll have to rent the DVD, I guess.
All right, we got time for one more, I think. I think it's got to be the best one we've had so far, so all the hands go down. Okay, you right there.
This is the last one. Try to be used.
Showstopper, go for it.
For the director, did you and your DP have a lot of experience with the very low light, just natural lighting, or was this a new thing?
No, we had a lot of experience. We have been buried alive for years.
Yeah.
Well, it was tough too, because we lived in the edge. I mean that we use practical light almost the whole time. When he uses the Zippo, the lighter, he is using an actual Zippo, and that's what we have there, and nothing more. And that's something that I wanted, so everybody could feel and touch the film. So everything was totally physical and believable. So you only can see what he can see. So when he moves the cell phone, there's of course, it's not the real screen, it's a system of LEDs, and so you can see what he's seeing, but nothing more. And when you have darkness, you have pitch black. I mean, in a regular film, when you have darkness, you can see things. This is that kind of fake darkness, when you assume that you are seeing things that the main role character is not able to see. But here, you're seeing exactly what he sees. So we really, really live on the edge the whole time. And actually, there were a couple of sequences in which we went too far. So we had to repeat them. When I mean too far, that's what I was going to say actually. I mean too far. There are some scenes you know that he's Ryan because of his teeth, and that's all. We went even further, and we had to repeat them.
You could only see my thoughts.
And telling this guy that he had to repeat that scene was hard.
It was like they were coming up to tell me my family were just killed.